I want to link it to stripper culture, which sounds very insane.
Do you know what? I'm going to let you land that plane.
Because I feel like they skin out a lot more in America, so they care about the way they look.
What beauty trend do you currently hate?
I feel like right now we're in a phase of like deep levels of mediocrity. Like everything is really boring. I think this is like, obviously there's like late stage capitalism, but I feel like we're in late stage skincare. It takes a while to innovate. It's really expensive. If you want to push things through and get them, I guess, approved as drugs as well, so they can be like pharmaceuticals, then that's an even longer process. So right now I think a lot of brands are just faffing in between, just like adding a scent here, changing the color of something here. Everyone's done too much with their brands at the moment, I think, for facial skincare. So I feel like I'm just bored. I'm a little bit bored of what's coming out. I think I've picked up on the best things that have come out, but like towards the end of the year, I'm like sitting there panicking, twiddling my fingers, thinking, what am I going to post about next week?
I get what you mean.
There's not like loads that excites me, especially in the UK. A lot more of the fun stuff is in America.
So what does excite you in the UK?
I think the exciting aspect is the fact that it's a new space for skincare to be in. So there's that whole fun journey of educating people from the beginning, whereas in America, they're like seen it all, done it all, what's next?
I do think they are ahead of us. Why are we so behind?
I don't know what the reason is, but I want to link it to stripper culture, which sounds very insane.
Do you know what? I'm going to let you land that plane.
Because I feel like they skin out a lot more in America, so they care about the way they look. For them, I guess beauty is like social mobility that can take someone from essentially having healthcare to not having healthcare. Depending on how you look, like you can change your entire life. Here, not so much. We're more of like a class-based area in the UK. So I think they do really take beauty so much more seriously in America. Like everything's bigger, better, bolder with them. And obviously they've got all the stars and like actual stars, not random. Like, you know when people. It's like, oh, this is a celeb episode, and you're like, who hell is this? That?
We do have a lot of that. I think because obviously with the D list and below, and they are basically A-list here.
Exactly.
I do get it. So let's talk a little bit about obviously MPD Supernova. You just had your Naturium edit, which was, I came to the lunch, amazing. I also just want to give you your flowers right now, because you're an influencer to me, whether you like that or not. But like the things that you say to buy, I buy, right? The other day, the little scalp Eucerin, I bought that. I think like the way that I see you in terms of skincare in the UK, you are that girl. Like, and obviously I'm sure that's taking a long journey, but I want to talk a little about the journey. What are the steps? Where did we go?
Ooh, I think the steps are all creating who you want to be in like the skincare spaces. You can either go down the very aesthetic side of things and be someone that just posts about pretty things, like your little reviews, all of that. You can get into the nitty-gritty science aspect of it, take that science side so far, so then your page is not really like, I guess, consumer friendly. Or you can kind of be somewhere in the middle and then add a bit more of a friendly touch. But I will say I'm very opinionated, and I feel like I've kind of grown even more opinionated, but then that's given me like this, okay, you're going to Alicia because you're going to get this type of answer from her, and it's very distinct. Whereas I think now, like, obviously there's so many creators, and I love that there's so many different types of opinions that we have now, but sometimes I guess when you're going a bit more on the aesthetic side, it can get really lost. But my plan is always about longevity and being slow but building a community rather than a following.
And is your approach to, because you review a lot of products, right? You obviously have your, which is my favorite, sunscreen or sunscreen, where you basically review sunscreens, which is also amazing because I feel like the conversation relating to sun SPF within the Black community is kind of a new conversation, which is shocking. But you know what? I'll actually put my hands up as well. I never wore sunscreen growing up. I was going to Jamaica all the time. I never wore sunscreen. No one talked about it. We just went melanin and stuff. But obviously now, so my question is, do you like, how do you do it? Do you do the reviews and then the hope is to work with the brand? What is your recipe?
So I always say I have absolutely no loyalty to any brand.
Tell them.
All. The only one that I will say that I have loyalty is Supernova, but then that's a bit more of a different case.
Yep.
But everyone, it's a free-for-all. Anyone can get it. If the product's not good, then it's not good. So I like to go from the education side of things, tell people what it does, what it's supposed to do, what the brand has claimed that it will do, how I've interacted with it, and then who it might be best suited for, because obviously I don't have the same skin type as everybody else. So that's my approach. Now it can get a bit more fun when it's like a holy grail favorite that I'll show people like how to use it in different ways, how to get the best out of it, price comparisons, all of that stuff. But I feel like at the moment, the reason that I actually started sunscreen or sunscreen is because you can't review skincare as quickly as you review makeup. You need to try it for a really long time.
Of course.
And sunscreen, obviously, you can tell how you feel about something fairly quick. So I give myself, I would say 7 sessions of wear for a sunscreen for me to decide how I feel about it before I make my episode for the week. So I was actually getting a lot more content out that way rather than having to wait like months for me to like review
see how your skin responds to it. Do you know what? I've never even thought about that. You can put lip gloss on and say, yeah, this is my lip gloss. Put skincare on. How long do they say you should wait to see if a skincare, how it sits with you?
On each type of product. So for example, if it's a product for hyperpigmentation, I would say like a month minimum. I don't want to hear from anyone unless it's been a month.
And if it's been like, let's say since April and nothing's happened, should I let that product go, hypothetically?
Let it go. I think there's different types of hyperpigmentation as well that people aren't super aware of. If your hyperpigmentation is really deep in your skin and it's got like maybe a purplish tint, grayish tint to it, you're going to want to move towards the like the actual serious big boy treatments, the prescriptions. So cosmetics and prescriptions can kind of deal with, I guess, 2 different phases of your skincare life. When it's extremely serious, that's when you move to the prescriptions. Cosmetics, it's definitely more surface level.
Goodness gracious me. We'll do a consultation. Let me do you know what? Let's do a little consultation now. Yeah. So I'm gonna get really vulnerable right now. So I get hyperpigmentation on my chin, right? Where hairs grow. Yeah, I have hair on my chin. Yeah, cool. And they obviously get stuck. Obviously, I've been trying a well-known brand. Well-known black brand. It's not worked. I started it in April. Today is whatever month it is. What do you think about that?
So
is that not right for me?
Do you still get the hairs occasionally?
Yes.
So that's your first point of
So what I will also, I've since booked some laser sessions to tackle the hair, because the hair is obviously the issue. But how do I get rid of the scarring?
So that will take a bit of time. Oh God, how deep are you into your laser?
I've had 1 session.
Okay, so I would say after 3 sessions, that's when you start noticing a bit of a difference.
I
even find that laser slightly exfoliates the skin. That's why I prefer it to electrolysis. It looks a lot smoother. I used to have like a full-blown beard.
Really?
Like my PCOS is quite severe. So like I had hair here, here. Like I've had about, let's say, over 50 laser sessions on my face. Yeah, because it will keep coming back with hormones. But from said brand, because I think I know what it is, I would actually prefer their rolly,
which is what
thing.
Was advertised. No, but somebody close to me told me yesterday that I should try the rolly thing of the said brand, because the cream, I don't think it's doing anything for me.
So I would say the rolly thing. And another thing that I really like for like pigmentation that's around the mouth or like this area as well is azelaic acid. I cannot shut up about azelaic acid.
Is it scary? It's gonna peel my skin off? Because that's what I'm worried
about. For some people it may. That's the issue. You got to give the trigger warnings. Yeah, it can make your skin feel a bit like crepey if it's a very high percentage of the azelaic acid. So like 15-20%. Then you'll start feeling a bit of dryness, but you can easily combat that just with a good moisturizer. It doesn't have to be expensive. E45 type vibes.
E45. Yeah. All right, I need to plug back in. See, I love this little consultation. That's what I need. And this is also why I love your content, because I feel like you also understand. You're a black woman, I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
And the way that you approach skincare is obviously different to your average, maybe, person, shall we say. And I appreciate that you're also reviewing things that have actually helped you as an individual, as opposed to just reviewing, any old things. Have you found like any specific barriers in your career thus far?